Hi everyone, and welcome to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Chicklin.
Hey Chicklin, tell you what, say something nice about me and I'll give you a piece of candy.
Candy! Your hair looks good today.
Okay, here you go.
Thank you.
Do you want another piece?
Sure.
Okay, say something nice about me again.
I like your shirt.
Oh, all right then.
It's my favorite color.
Okay.
It looks so good on you.
There you go.
Thank you. Another one. Yellow one. Should I say something? No. You have such beautiful eyes.
Wow. Okay, here is some more candy. But do you realize this third time you said something nice to me without me asking you to?
Oh, I did. Why?
Well, you wanted more candy, right?
Kind of.
Exactly.
So delicious.
You'll find out what I just did with you. It was a special kind of science experiment. We'll read through today's article and find out what I just did.
So I was the subject of your experiment.
Yes, you were. Let's read on and find out what kind of science we just saw.
Reading.
Operant conditioning. How we respond to reward. A scientific experiment first carried out 80 years ago has led to the production of some of the most addictive games today. Burrhus Frederick B.F. Skinner, born in 1904, was an American psychologist who studied the behavior of animals. He came up with some important ideas in the field of psychology, such as his famous operant conditioning chamber. Skinner made a box with a lever on one side. He then put a rat inside the box. Eventually, the rat would accidentally push the lever. When that happened, some food would drop into the box. After a few times of being in the box, the rat would go directly to the lever and press it. The food reward reinforced the behavior. Skinner believed this conditioning could be used on any subject, including humans. This idea affects our lives more than we know. Gaming and gambling companies have long been making games that use operant conditioning. They test what people want to hear or see, and then put it into their games. Humans respond well to this, so they become addicted to these games. It makes everyone want to level up over and over again.
Okay, now, I wasn't the first person to do this kind of experiment on somebody or, as we see, something. We start by reading that a scientific experiment first carried out 80 years ago has led to the production of some of the most addictive games today. Now, we'll kind of explain how one led to the other as we go on, but first, let's look at the word scientific. Scientific means related to science. Scientific knowledge is facts and information about some kind of science, while a scientific experiment is one that tests some kind of idea using science, the sort of thing where you repeat it and you see what happens, you make notes. That's scientific, and that's a scientific way of doing things. For example, we could say, reading scientific books and magazines has helped me learn a lot about the world.
所以 scientific 就是科学的意思，所以科学的发现我们可以说 a scientific discovery， 或者是研究可以后面加一個 research 变成 a scientific research or research， 或者是呢科學實驗 scientific experiment， 那麼它的名詞就是 science， 就是科學的意思，所以一種 a kind of movies 我們可以講Science fiction, 就是 sci-fi, 科幻片。那當然科學家就是 scientist.
Now, we also said that this experiment was carried out. To carry out means to perform a task or complete a set of actions from start to finish.
所以 carry out 就是執行哦。We can say to carry out a plan, an order, or some instructions，就是有計劃、指令的意思去實行。So this experiment was carried out 80 years ago.
Right.
But the results can be seen in the present.
That's right. We said the experiment led to some kinds of games, in this case video games today. To lead to something is to cause something or result in something later on in time. So we use these phrases lead to, result in. This is used to show cause and effect.
And the effect here was addictive video games.
That is correct. If something is addictive, people will want to keep eating it, drinking it, using it, or in the case of games, playing it. Cigarettes are addictive. So is coffee, alcohol, a lot of other drugs, even sugar.
Yeah.
Their effects when you have them or take them make people think, oh, I can't live without this thing. I need to do it. Addictive video games, these are games that people want to just keep playing all the time and never stop.
Yeah, 所以 addictive 就是使人家上瘾的。那我们如果是指一个人感到上瘾，我们要用 addicted， 就是 be addicted to something。所以文章的意思是说呢，80年前第一次进行的科學實驗，才讓當今一些最令人上癮的遊戲誕生哦。But what was this experiment?
Well, first, we're going to find out a little bit about the man who carried it out. We read that Burrhus Frederick Skinner, or B.F. Skinner, born in 1904, was an American psychologist who studied the behavior of animals. A psychologist is a person who studies behavior of individuals, of groups, and the way that people's minds work.
所以这是有心理学家的意思。那我們如果把 IST 拿掉變成 Y， 就是變心理學 psychology. So in this case though, this guy is studying animal behavior.
That's right. So we just used the word behavior there, and behavior is the noun form for behave. So it's the way in which you behave or act, especially around others. Good behavior means doing things well. You're polite to others. You follow the rules. Bad behavior is the opposite of all these things. You're rude, you don't listen, you don't show respect for people. So bad behavior is something you'll probably be punished for. For example, the teacher warned the student about his bad behavior and made him stay behind after school as punishment.
Behavior 就是行为的意思。那麼Pat老師剛剛提到的動詞就是 behave， 所以如果表現得好就是 to behave well， 如果表現得不好就變成 to behave badly。那你也可以說一個人要去那個安分守規矩，就可以說 to behave oneself。那我們看一下今天的例句。The children were expected to behave themselves. 那如果是行為端正的呢，就是 well behaved。比如說 My brother is an obedient and well-behaved child.
So this is this scientist, Skinner. He looked at the way animals acted, and we also see that he came up with some important ideas in the field of psychology, such as his famous operant conditioning chamber. Now, before we look into what exactly that is, we'll see the phrase come up with. To come up with something means to think of that thing, to have some kind of idea, a new thought about something.
所以呢，這一位 Skinner 他就提出了心理學領域的一些很重要的思想，像他的 Skinner box 就是操作制約式的意思。So now we'll learn more about this experiment.
Right. We see that Skinner made a box with a lever on one side. Now, this word lever can also be pronounced as lever. In fact, in the UK, we say lever more often.
Okay.
And whatever it is, though, it's like a kind of bar or a stick that's usually part of a machine. When you pull it, it causes some kind of change. For example, it could make the machine start or stop.
所以 Skinner 他就做了一個 box， 那裡面有一側有一個槓桿，那老師剛剛講的 lever 就是槓桿的意思，不過在英國他們普遍念 lever, right?
So we've got the box with the lever and we see that he, Skinner, then put a rat inside the box.
Oh, and next the article says, eventually the rat would accidentally push the lever.
Okay, so it's wandering around, it's checking out its cage. It'll push it.
Okay.
Something will happen.
Okay.
And of course, since it is a lever, it caused a change. The article says, when that happened, so when the rat pushed the lever, some food would drop into the box.
That kind of sounds like me, right?
Right.
Like giving you compliments, right?
Yeah.
So I think I can guess what will happen next. The article says, after a few times of being in the box, the rat would go directly to the lever and press it.
That's right. It was just like, I know what happens here. Give me food.
Okay.
So if something is done directly, it's done without delay, or you just do it by going in a straight line toward it without going somewhere else first. So the rat, when it goes into the cage, it knows what's going on. It doesn't wait. It doesn't check out the other parts of the cage. It just goes straight to the lever and goes, give me that food. For example, you could say, after working out in the gym, Stuart went directly into the showers.
所以 directly 就是直接的，那老師剛剛也有講 directly 也是how you pronounce it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 那形容詞呢就是 direct， 你把後面的 ly 拿掉就變成直接的或直達的公車啊，什麼火車之類都可以用 direct 這個字。那 direct 這個字呢也可以當動詞哦，有指導啊，像導演的這種指導一部片或者是領導都是可以，所以導演的英文就是 director。那我們造兩個句子。I would like to take the most direct route to Paris. 代表我想要搭最直達可以到巴黎的車。或者是呢 I prefer to act rather than direct. 代表我比較想演戲，比較不想當導演。所以文章的意思是說，這個盒子啊 Skinner 放了一隻老鼠進去，那老鼠就會不小心碰到這個槓桿，那當它碰到呢，就會有食物掉到盒子裡面呢 over and over again，這個老鼠它就會自己想要去碰。Because it wants the food, right?
Yeah. And this is the explanation for what happened. The article says the food reward reinforced the behavior. So a reward is something you get for doing something good, doing something well. Maybe you do a good job on your homework, so your teacher gives you an extra 5 minutes to rest. Or you do very well on your exams, so your parents take you to a nice restaurant for dinner as a reward. So we could also say in a work situation, as a reward for doing so well at work, Angie got a pay rise.
Cool. 那就是看到那個獎賞，這個是 reward 的意思。那我們可以說 a reward for something or doing something 就是某件事情的獎勵。所以你可以說 she deserves a reward for her efforts. 她的努力是值得她得到獎賞。那我們也可以用一個小小的片語變成 in reward for something 就是作為什麼的獎賞哦。比如說 I sent him a postcard in reward for his timely help. 因為他及時幫忙我寄給他一張明信片。那麼 reward 這個字報答就是當動詞，我們可以說 to reward someone with something。比如說剛剛那個句子我們改寫變成 I rewarded his timely help with a postcard. So the reward was like me getting candy for saying nice things about you.
Right, and because you liked the candy, this reinforced what you were doing.
Yeah.
To reinforce something means to make it stronger. Now you can do this with a physical thing. You could make a building stronger by reinforcing it with extra steel or extra concrete or other things like that. To reinforce a feeling or reinforce some kind of behavior means to make that feeling stronger, or with a behavior, it's about making someone more likely to do it. Like the kid does something good, you say, good job, the kid does it again. So you're rewarding this kid's behavior. They're more likely to do the same behavior again. That's reinforcing it.
所以这个食物的獎勵呢，就會加強老鼠去按這個 lever.
So let's get back to Skinner's ideas. the article says Skinner believed this conditioning could be used on any subject, including humans.
Like me. 所以 Skinner 他就相信呢，这个實驗可以用在任何的實驗對象上啊，例如是人類。Now let's learn more about how these old experiments relate to today's video games. Now the article next says, this idea affects our lives more than we know.
That's right. So we explain that gaming and gambling companies have long been making games that use operant conditioning. So gaming is just playing games, video games, but gambling, this is when you bet money on the outcome of something. So you could gamble on games like cards or mahjong. You win money if you win the game. Or you could gamble on sports games and you win money if you can guess who will win the match. Now, gambling is legal in some parts of the world, but not in Taiwan. So don't do it here. If you do want to do it, follow this example sentence. A lot of gambling takes place in Macau, where it's not against the law.
所以 gambling 就是賭博，那老師剛剛有講哦 gamble 這個字也可以當動詞，就是 to gamble on something， 在什麼東西上面打賭冒險。那老師剛剛提到好幾個你可以打賭的東西，譬如說賽馬 horses， 或者是 stock market is a kind of gambling。那我們可以說一直賭博的人他就會輸光，就用 gamble away。比如說 he has nothing left now because he has gambled away all of his savings。他把所有的存款都輸光了。那文章的意思就是說呢，遊戲的公司或賭博的公司長期以來啊，都會使用操作制約的方式來開發遊戲。
So we also saw today's grammar point in that sentence. It's present perfect continuous tense. And you form it this way with have or has, then been, then a verb in the VING form. Have been working, has been living, have been making. We use this grammar when we want to talk about activities that began in the past and still continue today. Now, you don't have to give a time frame as it's a perfect tense, but we can use this grammar to talk about how long something has been going on. Usually you add for and since, stuff like that. For example, I've been working here for 8 years, or I've been living in Taiwan since 2008.
今天的英文練功坊呢，講到現在完成進行式，就是 have has been 加上 VING form。那現在完成式呢，我們之前講到的是 have 加上 past participle，have 加上過去分詞，它是表示過去就開始到目前為止已經完成的動作，重點呢是在於動作的結果。不過如果是現在完成進行式呢，今天要講的是指一件事從過去進行到現在，而且呢還要繼續進行下去，又或者是強調呢一件事情從過去到現在一直持續不斷的在進行當中，那重點呢是在於動作的持續哦。那我們先看一下現在完成式。Phil has finished all his work for the day. 代表呢，菲爾已經完成他今天所有的工作。那我們再用另外一個句子來看現在完成進行式。I have been visiting this cafe regularly for the past year. 我過去1年來呢，一直定期的光顧這家咖啡廳，代表你現在還一直有在去。或者是呢，We have been shopping for more than 4 hours. Could we take a short break? 我們已經逛超過4個小時的逛街了耶，可不可以停下來休息一下？
So let's get back to how these video game and gambling companies are using operant conditioning, which is the idea that if you get a reward for doing something, you'll keep doing it. The article says they, that's the companies, test what people want to hear or see and then put it, these things they want, into their games.
所以这些公司呢会去測試啊，人類想要聽到什麼，看到什麼，然後就放到遊戲裡面。And we see that humans respond well to this, so they become addicted to these games.
Yeah, they just really love what happens when they play them or do these things, and so it rewards them and they don't stop. So to respond is to react in some way after something else happens first. You get bad news. How do you respond? Are you angry? Do you cry? Do you just not believe it? You could ask how the teacher responded when you didn't do your homework. This means, what did the teacher do? Here's an example. Some students respond well to praise, while others do better when they're told how they can improve.
所以 respond 就是反应，那去回复某一个人、某一件事 to respond to someone or something. 比如说 I responded to their suggestion with a smile. 代表呢，他们給我建議，我就回復用一個笑容回復，或者是呢，有當疾病啊，或者是治療之後有起色的意思 to respond to something. 比如說 his condition failed to respond to the treatment 就是他的那個症狀呢，這個治療是沒有效的。那它的名詞是 response. And if you're addicted to a game, it means that you can't stop playing it.
Right, as the article says in its conclusion, it makes everyone want to level up over and over again. Level up means you just get better in the game, and the phrase over and over means many times, one after the other.
所以就是因為這樣子，人們才會一直對遊戲上癮，想要升等 over and over again, 一次又一次。
And that's the end of today's article, so now let's go to our For You Chat question.
For You Chat.
So the article was a little bit about video games, and so is our question. Do you like video games? What makes you like or dislike them?
I do love video games. Have you heard of Overcooked?
No.
Okay, I've been playing this game for 6 months or so, and I am so addicted to it, and I just want to keep leveling up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a feeling that I love. It makes you so excited, but what I don't like about video games is that it's actually a waste of time.
Yeah, that is something I don't like. They really do kind of distract you from your normal life or things you think you probably should do. You might go, well, I could read a book here and learn something. I could get on with a hobby that, I achieve something. Or I could just sit here and play this game for 30 minutes.
I know, and then your brain is like, you're not working.
Yeah. Now, sometimes this is good because maybe it's what you need at the end of a day or at the end of if you're just about sort of finished with some work, you can go, all right, I'm going to play a game, clear my mind, do something that's fun. I do like the occasional video games.
True.
I like them often more for the story in the game than just playing the game itself. Sometimes the games are just fairly simple. Point, click, do this. But if they've got a good story with them, I will keep playing them and I'll want to finish the story. So
yeah, true.
Different kind of appeal for me. But that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. For English for You, I'm Pat.
I'm Chickling.
We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Vocabulary Review. Scientific. Some couples who can't have children naturally use scientific methods to help them have a baby. Behavior. Smelling the ground and peeing on things to mark its area are normal dog behaviors. Directly. After I finished working, I went directly home and took a 20-minute rest. Reward. My parents bought me a new video game as a reward for getting excellent grades this year. Gambling. Andrew's love for gambling had caused him to lose a lot of money among his friends. Respond. The patient has been responding well to the treatment that the doctor started giving her a week ago.
智慧小補帖
Addictive. Psychologist. Lever. Accidentally. Reinforce.
以上節目是由活用空中美語製作。活用空中美語雜誌，請洽詢全國各大書店。 如欲索取視聽教材，請來電02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上網查詢，網址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net